Today, parents across the country pulled their children out of class to protest graphic sex education lessons in public schools. It is all part of something called the Sex Ed Sit-Out. Parents say they're frustrated with the explicit lessons in sexuality towards their kids. Elizabeth Johnston, also known as the Activist Mommy, is co-sponsor of the event, and she joins us now via Skype from Charlotte, North Carolina. Elizabeth, you are there in North Carolina for what you call ground zero of the Sex Ed Sit-Out. What's been the response today? What's happening?
Oh, wow. I mean, we woke up this morning to Franklin Graham asking parents across the nation to pull their children out of school and join us in this movement to push back against the hypersexualization of children. Charlene, this morning when I woke up, there was a new story out of Virginia that read, Orgasm Ed. Oral, anal, and sex toys in 9th grade girls' family life class. In Virginia, an outrageous story of videos being shown to these girls in class in Virginia without the parents knowing about it. They were not notified. They had no opportunity to opt out. And these girls are learning how to pleasure these boys. This is the most outrageous a violation of parental rights, and we have said enough is enough. And so right across the street here at the government building, we're going to be here at 5 p.m. in Charlotte, North Carolina, saying we're done. You're going to get this LGBT propaganda and graphic sex ed out of our schools, or we're pulling the children out permanently.
Now, Elizabeth, you say that your strategy is by pulling kids out of school for the day, the school loses federal funding for the day. But some say, you know, doing that hurts the kids because they're missing other classes. And why couldn't parents just opt their kids out of the sex ed class?
Because there are many stories that we're seeing, just like the one that I mentioned in Virginia, where there is no opportunity to opt out. As I was pulling into this parking lot, I was reading another story about a teacher who allowed the students to watch 50 Shades of Grey in more than one school in Maine and in West Virginia. 50 Shades of Grey, bondage porn that our kids are being allowed to watch in public school at taxpayer expense. You mean to tell me that what we're doing to say no, you will not sexualize your children, is going to hurt the kids because they're missing a day of school? Sounds to me like they're not doing much schooling in there, Charlene. Sounds to me like they're learning some pretty nasty, vile, obscene things in school.
Absolutely. And let's talk about school boards. Can't parents just vote out those on the school boards who approve of such a progressive agenda?
We will. We will be voting them out all across the nation. However, right now, we need to send a message very loud and very clear that we're not going to tolerate this anymore. These school boards are taking funding from leftist special interest lobbies like Planned Parenthood and Human Rights Campaign and padding their pockets with it, taking the funding and destroying our children's innocence with it. And so we're saying no. Your funding is not more important than our children's innocence. And we demand that you are going to protect these kids from having obscenity pandered to them during school hours. Charlene, they are teaching these kids how to sodomize one another in our public schools at taxpayer expense. If that doesn't get parents mad enough to show up and protest, then you're dead inside.
And I understand you've had a huge response, you know, all across the country and globally. Talk about the reach that people you've been able to reach with this.
Yes, we have no resources. It was just a few moms who started this, and we were planning on doing one city, a protest in one city, and the cries of parents were just so urgent, and we felt so sorry for them because we were getting all of these kinds of stories that we had to continue to help people in their cities launch this protest, Sex Ed Sit-Out. And so we're in 4 countries. We're in Australia, the UK, Canada, and we have 12 press events in cities across America. And today's been a big day. Pictures and video have already been pouring in because it was yesterday, it was the 23rd in Australia. And so we're already seeing footage coming in from Australia. And it's just so exciting to see parents finally rising up and saying, no, you are not going to push this dangerous and immoral leftist propaganda on our children in school. This isn't what we send them to school for. We send them to school to learn reading and writing and science and history, not how to question their gender and how to be promiscuous without getting caught by your parents.
What's next after this, Elizabeth?
We're going to start suing these schools for pandering obscenity to minors. There are 43 states that have loopholes so that you cannot prosecute obscenity to minors in schools. And we need to get those loopholes closed so that in all 50 states, if you're caught pandering obscenity to a minor, even during public school hours, more so during public school hours, you will be prosecuted.